Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, May 30th, 2024. Today's show, NHL and NBA Conference Finals is MLB, WNBA, soccer, news and notes, best, so short and sweet today. We'll start in hockey. We have a Game 4 in the West to talk about and a Game 5 in the East coming up tonight. The Oilers bounced back and beat the Stars 5-2 to even up this baby at 2 apiece. A much-needed performance for Edmonton. Ryan McLeod got the number 3 star with the goal. Number 2 star with 3 assists is Connor McDavid. And the number 1 star of the game was Matthias Janmark, who this was his first point of the series. And Dallas was up 2-0 and Edmonton 5 unanswered goals. All right, to the East, 8 o'clock, ESPN tonight, Panthers, Rangers. Sean McDonough, Ray Ferraro, Emily Kaplan on the call. This is a pivotal Game 5, and I mean pivotal. I think there's a decent chance the winner of this game wins the series. Florida's a minus 125 favorite. The Rangers are plus 104, over under 5.5. Overs plus 112, unders minus 138. Florida minus 1.5 is plus 220. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 265. I'm taking the Rangers outright at plus 104. I was on the right team in Game 4, but I thought Florida was going to win that game in regulation. But they ended up winning in overtime. So I was right about which team was going to win, but I just had regulation wrong. They ended up winning in overtime. But I'm going to say Rangers win regardless tonight, plus 104. And I want to see what the Rangers in regulation is, because they're due for a regulation win. They haven't won in regulation in 2 weeks, which was Game 6 against Carolina. So the Rangers in regulation is plus 155. I think that's excellent value too, but I'm just going to take the money line just in case. Only because I'm taking Florida in regulation bit me in the ass 2 days ago. I didn't bet it, but in terms of picks I've given out, that bit me in the butt 2 days ago. So I'm just going to be safe and take the Rangers on the money line at plus 104 to take a 3-2 series lead heading back to Sunrise on Saturday night. Now move on to the NBA. We have a Game 5 tonight between the Mavericks and the T-Wolves. If Minnesota wins this game, this all of a sudden gets very interesting, and this could very well be this year's version, in a way, of Miami-Boston. But last year's Boston team, you could argue, is and was better than this year's Minnesota team. But let's face it, this year's Mavericks team is probably better than last year's Heat team. So you could argue either way, but some will tell me, Minnesota this year is better than Boston last year. I disagree to some extent because I just think Minnesota is flawed in some areas. But anyway, my projected line's Minnesota by 4 3/4, so 233 or 223 and 9/10, and it's 4.5 and 209.5. I'll take the over. I think that's a low number. I think that this could be a 105-106 game, and if that's the case, that's an over. But at gunpoint, I think Minnesota forces Game 6. They're favored. Luka's the best guy on the court probably, but I think in front of their home crowd, I don't know if Minnesota wants to lose in front of their home crowd. So I'm not going to touch the spread in this game because I think the spread's just about correct. But I do like the over in this game, and I would parlay that with the Minnesota money line. Okay, now move on to baseball. We have some games to go over, and we have less games today because of travel for some teams. Doubleheader game 1. Tigers over the Pirates 8-0. Cards over the Reds 5-3. Rangers over the D-backs 6-1. Pirates over the Tigers 10-2. Doubleheader game 2. Phils over the Giants 6-1. Dodgers over the Mets 10-3. Marlins over the Padres 9-1. O's over the Red Sox 6-1. Rays over the A's 4-3. Nats over the Braves 7-2. So I called that outright upset. That was pretty good. Brewers over the Cubs 10-6. So best bet was a big fat loser. Royals over the Twins 6-1. This is the one I should have picked, and I should have stuck with my guts. Jays over the White Sox 3-1. But wait a second, I might have actually said over when I did the show. Yeah, I said over when I did the show. Never mind. Rockies over the Guardians 7-4, and the Mariners over the Astros 2-1-10 on a walk-off sac fly by J.P. Crawford, and the Yankees beat the Angels 2-1. All right, we have a couple of matinee games and a couple of night games. 1 o'clock, Cubs-Brewers from Milwaukee. Jameson Taillon, Colin Rea. Pretty big spot for the Chicago Cubs. You don't want to be swept by Craig Counsell's old team. You know the Brewers are playing motivated here. They're minus 118 favorites. The Cubs are even money over under 8. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Cubs minus 1.5 plus 150. Brewers plus 1.5 minus 182. Jameson Taillon's pitched really good this year. I taking the Cubs on the money line at even money as a dog. Royals Twins. Brady Singer, Chris Paddock. Twins minus 126. Royals plus 108. Over under 8. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Royals plus 1.5 minus 210. Twins minus 1.5 plus 172. I'm going to take another underdog outright in the Kansas City Royals at plus 108. A's Rays. TBD and Sean Armstrong. Rays minus 154. A's plus 130. Over under 8. Overs minus 132. Unders even money. A's plus 1.5 minus 162. Rays minus 1.5 plus 134. Because of the unknown with Oakland, I'm going to lay the run line with the Rays. Minus 1.5 at plus 134. And plus Tampa needs the game. 4 o'clock, Astros Mariners. Spencer Arguetti and Logan Gilbert. Mariners minus 134. Astros plus 116. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Astros plus 1.5 is minus 184. Mariners minus 1.5 is plus 152. So for some reason, the Astros are only plus 116. That makes me think Astros outright. Spencer Arguetti's also been one of the worst pitchers in baseball this year. So this is really hard. Because you would think that the Mariners would be a bigger favorite than this. So I am actually going to take the Houston Astros outright at plus 116. So 4 picks, 3 underdogs to win. How about that? 7 o'clock, Tigers, Red Sox, Jack Flaherty, Nick Pivetta. Sox minus 116, Tigers minus 102, over under 7.5, overs plus 104, unders minus 128. Tigers minus 1.5 plus 162, Sox plus 1.5 plus minus 94. Oh, over at plus money, come on. All right, next up you have the Nationals and the Braves at 7:20. Trevor Williams and Ray Kerr. Braves minus 196, Nats plus 164, over under 8.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 128, Braves minus 1.5 is plus 106. I'm going with the Nats again, plus 164. Their pitching's pretty good. And the Braves obviously are dealing with some turmoil right now with the injuries, so I'm going to take the Nats again at plus 164. And last but not least, 9:30 Yanks Angels. Carlos Rodon and Patrick Sandoval. Yanks minus 184, Angels plus 154, over under 8.5, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Yankees minus 1.5 is minus 148, Angels plus 1.5 is minus 104. I like the under, but I don't feel 100% about it. Both the games in the series so far have gone under. I think this is another under as well. Okay, now move on to the WNBA. We will recap the games and look ahead to today's games. Liberty over to Mercury, 81-78. Dream over to Mystics, 73-67. Aces over to Lynx, 80-66. Only 2 games tonight, 7 o'clock on Prime Video. You have the Storm and the Fever. Good game. The Storm are giving 5.5 totals, 167.5. I'm going to take Indiana to cover. I don't know if they'll win, but I think Caitlin Clark will keep them in the game. So I'm going to take the Fever getting 5.5 at home. And 8 o'clock, you have the Sparks and the Sky. The Sky are giving 4, total 161.5. The Sky team has been very surprisingly good. Teresa Weatherspoon has them at 2 with 3. I don't know if they're going to cover 4. But I know the Sparks are not very good either. I want to take LA getting 4, but I don't want to go there. So instead, I'm going to take the over. I just think that the 4 is the right number in that spot. So I'm going to go over in that game. All right, now we'll move on to soccer. We'll go over the notable results from yesterday and look ahead to today's notable soccer. We'll start with the Libertadores. Gremio over Strongest 4-0. Huachipato over Estudiantes 4-3. Fluminense over Alianza Lima 3-2. Sao Paulo over Talares 2-0. Cerro Porteño and Colo-Colo 1-1 draw. And Barcelona over Cobresal 2-1. We have a couple of more in the group stage. Tonight, 6 o'clock, you have Independent del Valle in Liverpool. IDV's minus 450. Liverpool's 9-1. The draw's plus 550. I'm going to do... This is a really hard one. I'm going to take Liverpool plus 1.5. I think that game is a lot closer than you think. Palmeiras and San Lorenzo. Palmeiras is minus 205. San Lorenzo is 6-1. The draw's plus 310. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals plus 115. 8 o'clock, River Plate and Táchira. River's minus 1100. Táchira is 19-1. The draw's plus 950. I'm going to go under 3.5 goals minus 115. And last but not least, Libertad and Nacional. Libertad is plus 145. Nacional plus 195. Draw plus 225. I'm going to go with Nacional on the road at plus 195. I think that's an interesting number. There's a couple of promotional playoffs that went down yesterday. And we have a Conference League final. Olympiacos beats Fiorentina 1-0 in additional extra time. Women's friendly, Guatemala over Chile 4-3. And I forgot we had MLS yesterday too. CF Montreal over DC United 4-2. Nashville for Cincy 2-0. Atlanta over Miami went 3-1. Rebels Charlotte. Rebels win 3-1. Philly Toronto 0-0 draw. Portland over Austin 2-0. Chicago Orlando 1-1 draw. Houston over Colorado 3-1. Vancouver over KC 2-1. Galaxy over Dallas 3-1. Seattle Salt Lake 1-1 draw. And LAFC over Minnesota 2-0. We also had USL yesterday. I don't even remember doing USL on the show. Louisville over Detroit 5-1 and Monterrey Bay Charleston 0-0 draw. So I was wrong. We didn't have, maybe that was on Tuesday that we had some of the, yes, that was Tuesday. So SSV John Regensburg over SV Wollen. Wiesbaden 2-1 and Regensburg wins 4-3 on aggregate. In Dutch Eredivisie promotion relegation, NAC Breda over Excelsior 4-2. Wow, and that's the first leg. That was all Tuesday. So today we have League One Pro relegation final, first leg, Saint Etienne and Metz. Just going to pull up those odds very quickly. St. Etienne minus 105, Mets plus 290, draw plus 210. So St. Etienne was French League 2. The Mets was in 1. So St. Etienne, I think, is going to be motivated. I think they're going to take the first leg minus 105. And I'm going to just double check to see if we have any other. No, we do not, but I'll tell you what the weekend is going to be loaded. All right, French Open. We're going to rapid fire French Open. We have some round 2 results to talk about, and then we have some more round 2 action coming up. So we'll start with the men's, and we'll do yesterday. 2-seed Jannik Sinner over Richard Gasquet in 2 sets. Pavel Kotov over Stan Wawrinka in 4 sets. 6-seed Andre Rublev over Pedro Martinez in 3 sets. 3-seed Carlos Alcaraz over Jesper de Jong in 4 sets. 27-seed Sebastian Corda over SW Kwan in 4 sets. Matteo Arnaldi over Alexandre Mueller in 3 sets. 19-seed Stefano Tsitsipas over Daniel Altmaier in 4 sets. So there's a couple suspended matches. 15-seed Ben Shelton and Kei Nishioka suspended. 18-seed Hubert Hurkacz and Brandon Nakashima suspended. Lorenzo Sonogo and ZZ Zhang suspended. And then today, we have one final. 10-seed Grigor Dimitrov over Fabian Marozsan in 3 sets. Suspended Luciano Dorderi and 26-seed Talon Greek Spore. Also suspended Denis Shapovalov and 25-seed Francis Tiafoe. Zizou Bergs and Maximilian Martyr suspended. 20-seed Sebastian Baez and Sebastian Offner suspended. So the Battle of Sebastians is suspended. Henry Square and 21-seed Felix Auger-Aliassime also suspended. 5-seed Daniil Medvedev over Mimur Kekmanovic in a walkover. And then coming up this morning and afternoon at 10:15 on Thanasi Kokkinakis and Julio Sapiri. 31-seed Mariano Navone and Tomas Makok. 10:30 Corentin Motet and Alexander Shevchenko. 10:55 Taylor Fritz, your 12-seed, and Dusan Lajovic. Flavio Cobolli and Holger Rune. Fabio Fognini and 14-seed Tommy Paul. 11 o'clock, 18-seed Karen Kakdevov and Yusuf Kalovec. 11-seed Alex Demeter and Jaume Munar. 11:30 Jen Leonard Struff and 19-seed Alexander Bubik. 23-seed Francisco Cirandulo and Philip Mozelic. 28-seed Thomas Echeverry and Arthur Rinderknecht at 11:50. 1 o'clock, Alejandro Davidovich Fokina and 17 Casper Rudd. And 2:15, Gail Monfils and 30 Lorenzo Musetti. And then the third round is supposed to begin tomorrow, but we need to get all those suspended matches in there. Women's. We're going to do yesterday first. Finals. 3-seed Coco Gauff beats Tamara Zinasek in 2. 1-seed Iga Swiatek beats Naomi Osaka in 3. 18 Ons Jabeur beats Camila Osorio in 3. Sophia Kenin beats 21-seed Caroline Garcia in 2. Suspendeds. Katie Volinets and Marketa Vondrosa. Jenna Felt and Marie Buskova. And 31-seed Leylah Fernandez and Xiu Wang. Today, finals. 15-seed Alina Svitolina over Diane Parry in 2. Donna Vecchik upsets 18-seed Marta Kostyuk in 2. 14-seed Elena Rybinka beats Arista Rus in 2. 2-seed Arina Sablenka beats Mayuka Uchima in 2. Anastasia Popova beats Victoria Golubic in 2. Paula Badosa beats Yulia Putintseva in 3. 30 seed Diana Yastremka beats YF Wong in 2. And then suspended 19 Jelena Ospenko and Clara Tauson. 17 seed Lumia Samsonova and Amanda Anisimova. 11 seed Danielle Collins and Olga Danovic. Zinu Wong and Victoria Tomanova. And 32 seed Katerina Siniakova and Chloe Paquette. All right, coming up at 10:30, Sarah Arani and 22 seed Emma Navarro. Christina Buska and Elizabeth Cocciaretto. Alina Avansayan and Anna Blinkova. 14 seed Madison Keys and Meyer Sheriff. 29 seed Elise Mertens and Petra Martic. 10:45, Marina Begu and 27 seed Linda Noskova. All right, 11 o'clock. 7 seed Quinn Zhang and Tamara Korpach. 11:50, Varvara Gracheva and Bernarda Parra. 12:10, Peyton Stearns and 10 seed Daria Katsakina. 12:15, Anna Bogdan and 20 seed Anastasia Pavlyuchova. 12:55, Victoria Azarenka, your 19 seed against Mira Andreeva. 1 o'clock, Haley Baptiste and 12 seed Jasmine Paolini. And 1:50, 23 seed Anna Kalinskaya and Bianca Andreescu. And third round, the women's is supposed to begin tomorrow as well. Okay, news and notes time. We have some things to talk about. I want to start news and notes with talking about something that broke yesterday. Dance Moms is Kelly Hyland diagnosed with breast cancer. Prayers to Kelly. She's a strong woman. And this comes 3 months after a clean mammogram. So this is absolutely scary. Thoughts and prayers are with Kelly and her family through these trying times. Social media yesterday was just outpouring of love for her from her Dance Moms, castmates, and the fans. So prayers go to Kelly Hyland and family. Coming down right now, Jalen Waddle and the Miami Dolphins agree to a 3-year extension, $84.75 million, $76 million guaranteed. I think that is a bargain. I like it for Miami. Short term, it's team friendly. So good job by Miami for locking them up for another couple of years. And now Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, among others. Wait. A young prospect, Baby Grunk they call him, commits to Nebraska just 5 days after Colorado commitment. All right. So Power 5 schools and student athletes had a $2.8 billion settlement. That is very interesting. That is a lot of money. Bronny James is staying in the draft and foregoing college eligibility. I don't know if it's the right decision or not. I know it's a weak draft. So the combine and stuff, Bronny's going for it. I don't even know if he's going to be a first-round pick or not. Kristaps Porzingis is close to return as he's been ramping up the intensity level ahead of the finals. Okay, so Barca makes it official with the manager as they hire Hansi Flick, 2-year deal. LeBron James likely to be a free agent with hopes to restructure contract. I think he's ultimately going to stay with the Lakers. He wants to be in LA. I mean, he might go to the Clippers. I mean, I can see that, but, it's unlikely. And the funny thing is that LeBron's been with the Lakers longer than he was with Cleveland for his second stint. LeBron's been on the Lakers for 6 seasons now, which is crazy. And he was only in his second Cleveland stint for 4. Ty Lue, 5 years, $70 million, as he becomes one of the league's highest paid coaches. So this has been a theme for coaches with the money. Monty Williams might get fired after getting paid like that, but that's a different situation there in Detroit. What a mess there. But good job on the Clippers for locking him up, because there are some rumors that he was going to go to the Lakers. So good job, Clippers. I mean, the Knicks with Tom Thibodeau has to be next in terms of big-name coach extension. We saw it with Spoelstra. We saw it with Kerr. Now we see it with Ty Lue. I expect Thibodeau to be next. And I think Mike Malone got extended by Denver, too. Yesterday was probably one of the most disastrous days in New York Mets history. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Edwin Diaz was placed on the 15-day injured list with a right shoulder impingement. Josh Walker called up. The latter part of that irrelevant. The relevant part is that Edwin Diaz is hurt. I get it, he's blown saves, but this is a big loss for the Mets. And not only is it a big loss, this could hit his trade value. Because I thought that there was a chance he was going to be traded this summer to a team that could use him. And then during the Dodger game yesterday, Pete Alonso suffers a hand injury as he had to exit the game. And during that same day, Mets reliever Jorge Lopez gets ejected for tossing his glove into the stands. And then he sounds off after ejection to the media. It sounds like he said that he's playing on the worst team in the league. But when you listen to it again, it sounds like he's saying that he's been the worst teammate in the league. But everyone took it as he said the Mets were the worst team in the league. And then after the game, the Mets designated him for assignment, which was the right thing to do. His actions got him designated for his assignment. Although some may say it was his words and his actions. But even if he didn't say what he said, he still would have been designated for assignment, because that is just unacceptable loser behavior. And the Mets have been nothing but losers this year. And guess what? Their recruitment for Juan Soto, oh yeah, that took a big, massive freaking hit yesterday when Jorge Lopez did that. Why would Juan Soto want to go to that? This is going to be like an NBA situation where the Mets are going to miss out on free agents because of how disastrous their situation is right now. Their owner is just a big name with a lot of money, and yet he's done nothing but not own up to his word. He's just a cocky ass, thinks he's the shit. Meanwhile, his team has done nothing but disappoint since he's been there. And Dave Stearns has some work to do at the deadline, and I think he could get something for Alonso. He can get something for Diaz. He can get something for JD Martinez. So, and then maybe even blow it up even more. Like, could they get something for Jose Quintana? Could they get something for the Japanese pitcher? I forget his name. Cody Senga. But this team is going to be blown up like the Marlins are going to be blown up this summer. So, buckle up. And I said this yesterday on Twitter. This is one of the more disastrous seasons, or starts to a season, in New York sports that I can remember in a while. I know some were going to say, well, the Jets last year, they lost Aaron Rodgers. But they lost Aaron Rodgers. That's one freak injury that made their season disastrous last year. But this is a lot worse than the Jets situation. A lot. I mean, you could compare this to the Giants when Odell was there and how many new lows they had. You can compare this to the Knicks a couple times and they had extreme lows under David Fizdale and Derek Fisher. And then this does feel like a Knicks season because all the talk is going to be about a pending free agent and whether he signs with them or not. Like the Knicks with Kevin Durant, and then in 2018-19, and then now Juan Soto, who, let's face it, I think he's going back to the Bronx, and he better be back in the Bronx. So yeah, I had to go on the tangent about the Mets. I can't stand. I mean, it's good content for the show, but like, I can't stand the Soto talk. The Braves signed Ramon Laureano to a minor league deal. I think the Braves, if they are serious about competing, need to make a trade. Like, Kyle Tucker. So let's say the Astros still underachieve and they end up a seller. Kyle Tucker's in a contract year. They can get a shit ton for Kyle Tucker. And the Braves can use him as a rental. If they are serious about winning a championship, they should go get Kyle Tucker. And if you don't give up Schwellenbach, I mean, that'd be an even bigger win. Or you can get a package deal with Verlander and Kyle Tucker, and then you would have to send Schwellenbach to Houston. So, like, the Braves have to think outside the box like that. The Commanders are keeping its name, despite poll that 54% of fans dislike or hate it. Juwan Jennings got extended by the 49ers, 2-year deal, $15.4 million, $10.5 million guaranteed. Good for him. He's had moments. The Jets signed Tariq Cohen as he's attempting a comeback. I like Tariq Cohen. He's good. Him and Breece Hall. The Bengals and T. Higgins are not negotiating as sides haven't discussed a contract in more than a year. Wow. I think there's a chance he's traded before the season. So the Walter Cup was won last night by Minnesota as they defeat Boston to take home the inaugural Walter Cup. So that's pretty cool. And then the AHL's conference finals are on their way. So the West started last night and the East starts tonight. I think Milwaukee wins their series against the Coachella Valley Firebirds in the West. I think that goes 6, and I'd say Milwaukee wins. Although Coachella Valley off to a good start, 2-1 winners over Milwaukee last night, and tonight 7 o'clock is Cleveland Hershey Game 1. I'm going to say that Hershey wins that in 6 as well. So we're going to have Hershey and Milwaukee in the finals. Coachella Valley was in it last year against Hershey. And so yeah, they were the runners-up and lost to Hershey in overtime last year in Game 7. So I don't think we'll have a finals rematch. I think it's going to be Milwaukee-Hershey this time around. And plus, Coachella's losing their coach, Dan Belisma, to the Kraken. So, yeah, that could be a distraction. Aaron Boone got ejected last night after a terrible interference call on an infield fly. I don't blame Aaron Boone for being mad. Although the Yankees did win the game, that was just a terrible call. Caleb Love back to Arizona after withdrawing from the draft, so that's big for Arizona. And Alex Caravan back to UConn, so that is big for UConn. A 5-star shooting guard, Josan Salonon, switched from Arizona to Arizona State. Not ideal for the Wildcats, but really good for Dan Hurley. Scotty Scheffler's charges dropped as that situation's done. Louisville officials have dropped all charges against Scotty Scheffler after arrest of the PGA Championship. Doesn't surprise me, because Scheffler didn't even know what was going on. He didn't do it on purpose. The Clippers want to keep Paul George and James Harden. They better keep them both, or they better at least keep Harden. But you can make a case that they need to break that up. The Lakers are nowhere close to picking a coach. I'm in interviews with J.J. Redick, James Borrego, and others. The Wizards promote Brian Keefe to become their 26th head coach in team history. I don't know if I like that. I would have gone with James Borrego or Kenny Atkinson or somebody like that. Lakers leaning towards adding 2 supporting cast over adding 3rd star. I think that's the right move. I think they're better with LeBron and Davis with the supporting cast. Let's face it, Denver, 2 stars in a supporting cast. Minnesota, some may argue 3 stars, but to me, Gobert's not a star. Edwards is a superstar, and then Towns is a good number 2. And the supporting cast, you have an above-average defensive player in Gobert, but he's limited. And then Dallas, 2 stars in the supporting cast, and Luka and Irving. So, that's the way to go. And they prefer to keep Austin Reeves, and D'Lo, Vanderbilt, and Gabe Vincent may be movable players this offseason. How about this? Rajon Rondo may join the Lakers staff. Interesting. And the Cavaliers are interviewing James Borrego and Kenny Atkinson for their job. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. This is a hard one. There was one that jumped out to me, though, in baseball. And I'm just going to run with it. It's the over in the Red Sox and Tigers game, and it was at plus money. Neither of those pitchers are any good. And I'm going to lay a 20th of a unit on it. It's plus money. I absolutely love it. Over 7.5 at plus money between the Tigers and the Red Sox. And that will be my best bet of the day. So, there you have it for the show. Oh, wait a second. Did we skip a game in baseball? Yeah, we did skip D-backs Mets. That's funny. Zach Gallen and Christian Scott. So the pick here, I'm not giving out the Mets. I'm giving out the Diamondbacks on the run line. The Mets are just a mess. -1.5 plus 150. So now that's it for the show. And I'll be back tomorrow with a monster show. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.